today we're going to talk about the 11 types of alopecia. Now, what does the word alopecia mean? It comes from a Greek word, alopex, which means fox. And the reason why they talk about a fox is that certain fox get an infection with mites and they start losing their hair in different patches. So that's the origin of the word alopecia. Now, as I go through this, there's a lot of new words that you may not be familiar with. Just realize they're mostly Greek or Latin words that describe the characteristics of what's happening with your hair. So definitely don't get caught up with the names. They're just classifications of different types of hair loss. Now, some of these conditions that I'm going to talk about are not really a hair loss problem. That's a symptom. The underlying real problem is the immune system. And so when someone has an autoimmune condition, they develop antibodies against their own tissues. In certain types of alopecia, you have the body developing antibodies to your own hair follicles, and that creates a loss of hair or some type of thinning with the hair or damage with the hair root, or the hair just doesn't grow. Other types of alopecia could have a genetic component, but don't get too caught up in the genetics because there's something called epigenetics, which is above your genes. And so you can do things about this even though you have a genetic problem. And then there's a type of alopecia that is caused by too much DHT, which is a very powerful form of testosterone. So I'm definitely going to get into the remedies after I describe each type. So let's start with number one, alopecia areata. Okay, now what does the word areata mean? It comes from the Latin word, which means area, as in a vacant space or patch. Okay, so this is where you see patches of hair loss throughout your hair because of a certain autoimmune disease. Now, there are certain types of alopecia areata that I'm going to describe right now. This is going to include different patterns of hair loss to your eyebrows, hair loss to different parts of your body. But with this condition, there's usually a problem with your T cells. That's part of the immune system. Your body has some type of confusion and it's attacking the wrong thing, our own hair. And so this general type of alopecia areata can then get worse and become alopecia areatus totalis, which means that you have this total hair loss in the top of your head, which I will get into in a minute, or alopecia areata universalis, which is hair loss throughout the entire body and the rest of the hair in your body.